Hi there, in this episode, you know when the stars align and you get that noise in your head that goes, oh. That's what happened when I realised the sweet peas at the front of the house matched my front door stained glass. Think what you like, I don't care. I don't need my gloves for this. Just the trusty snippers. What we're doing, right, is we are providing shelter for the sweet pea. I love a sweet pea. It's quite old-fashioned. I remember my granny used to grow them and they smelt gorgeous. I've grown them and guess what? They smell gorgeous. You've got to be a bit nifty when you harvest the flowers. You've got to keep at it. So don't muck about with that. Don't think that it's just a light touch job. So we're at the cream pot. It's one of those trendy ones, but actually really annoys me. It looks really nice. It's kind of moulded plastic, quite large cream pot. It screams lifestyle. But frankly, it's got this inner lip on it. So you fill it with compost, happy days. But then whenever you try and change what's in it, all the compost gets stuck, especially if you've got anything that's a bit rooty-tooty in there, a bit like root bound. You'd probably have to end up cutting the pot off the item. It hasn't come to that ever yet, but I have had that in the past with these types of pot. It's just hampers progress. Right. That's the lecture over. This is the Garden Podcast lecture series. Now I'm going to reduce the height of these freshly cut bamboo canes. We've got a bamboo plant growing at the end of the garden. It's not particularly invasive actually. It's one of those that isn't a problem. I cut them down a few weeks ago because I couldn't be bothered to go and buy bamboo canes and I thought these would probably do. Goodness me, how do pandas get their teeth into these? They're so strong, aren't they? Literally can't, they're flexible, but you can't snap them easily. And yet there they are on YouTube, snapping and chomping away at the bamboo canes. They're very long and rather lovely. They've still got some of the paper sort of covering around them, which Joey is delighting in. They're going to support the sweet pea. I've got 3 of them. I'm going to make a tripod. These must be getting on for 6'8", 6.5 feet, something like that. Well, I was going to say, I'm 5'2.5", but I'm not anymore. Apparently, I've shrunk. I don't know why it came up, but it sometimes does. When you've got kids in a household, you sometimes go, oh, you've grown. Let's go to that bit of wall or that door surround, in our case, in the downstairs toilet and draw on the wall with felt tip pen, marker pen, to say where you're at. Now, our girls have really sort of slowed down in growing, but at one point, I think one of them grew like 3 meters in a week one year. It was extreme. Well, you know what I mean. But yeah, no wonder she was tired all the time. She grew so much. So it came up, yeah, let's measure you, Mum. No, darling, we don't need to do that. Yeah, Mum, let's measure you. All right, then, let's have a go. And I got measured about 4 or 5 years ago, actually, so I was still on there. Hunky husband's on there. And I anticipated exactly the same. No, I've lost half an inch. Or an inch, I can't quite work it out. I don't want to measure it, I'm too frightened. But I am no longer 5'2.5". I'm possibly 5'1.5". How the hell did that happen? I'm only young, not even 50, 6 months, not even 50, and yet I've lost some height. I think I've got a better posture from Pilates. I am eating healthily. I am firing up my core whenever I remember. Shoulders back, good posture, and yet still. Anyway, let's move on. Let's get back to cutting the canes. And I think I'm just going to take a little top off there, make them a little bit more manageable as well, so I can reach the top and to tie it all together. Ugh. There you go, Joey, you can have that. If it's good enough for the pandas. Oh, I could rig up some panpipes, couldn't I? Third one, measure twice, cut once, something like that. That's what they say when you come to do windows and stuff, or blinds and curtains. Measure twice, don't screw it up. Right, so we've got some string and we've got some poles. So the poles are going in the pot. Sadly, they have to go quite near the centre. They can't be spread out too much because of the, oh, what would you call it? The pot kind of narrows towards the base. So, oh, that's nice and sturdy. Now they're a bit shorter. 1, 2, and then a third one. 3 round the sweet pea. Now the sweet pea has taken ages to get off the ground. Not literally. I put it in about 6 weeks ago, and it was still really cold everywhere. It's not just the northwest, it was really cold everywhere. It's been a bit of a slow starter. The one at the front of the house has now got flowers on it, so its brother has a bit of catching up to do, and rather happily. I didn't plan this, but it is very pleasing. I don't know if it's just me, I'm a bit square, but I'm too square to reveal this. It's really, it matches the stained glass in my front door. The colour, it's red, and there's a bit of a red in the front. Anyway, I really enjoy that moment when I realise that. And I thought, you know, when the stars align and you get that noise in your head that goes, oh, and the world and the birds start tweeting, and then a little birdie comes onto the end of your finger and you say good morning to it, and then you skip down the street. That's what happened when I realised the sweet peas at the front of the house matched my front door stained glass. Think what you like, I don't care. So I'm going around the 3 sticks with some string, and that's to make the latticey type thing, and I'm separating the sweet peas out. So when it comes to cutting them, you want to be able to get access to them, don't you? And they don't always let you in if it's through the string. You have a bit of a complicated job then, don't you? And you might end up, like I've just done, breaking a few. So got a nice triangle shape going on now with these lovely sweet peas. Going to be growing up the outside of this little tent I'm making for it, I suppose. It's not a tent at all, that's elaborate. It's 3 pieces of cane around which I am doing some string, and that's it. It's in full sun. Should get some nice flowers. What are they going to match? That's the question. I'm hoping they're purple. They're going to match my bicycle shed that I've painted purple. That would be so pleasing, wouldn't it? But don't tell anyone. Don't tell anyone if it's really pleasing. On a really micro level. I'm just grateful. I've got lots of gratitude, whatever that is, for things. Right then. On we go.